If you like the video, please consider supporting James Corp on Patreon. We're back with week 4, part 3. Don't forget, if you're enjoying this, to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, or if you're watching on Twitch, to hit that follow button. Other than that, yeah, we're gonna be doing some fear checks, because this is not normal, right?
Yeah. So
I blame Danny. This is all Danny's fault.
What?
Well,
I just saved you guys.
No, you caused it. You shot him.
I caused it. It was going to happen anyway.
Well, you don't know that.
Anyway, yeah, of course I knew that. No,
you didn't.
I don't know that.
Go, silly. Come on, you're interrupting the game. So we're going to kind of throw out a little quick rule that we feel that something like this, witnessed by the player characters, would demand a resolute roll.
I mean, J-Wall should be all right, because she's Revena's nowhere near or in line of sight of what just happened.
Correct. So I mean, those that actually that sounds a little better. Those that have witnessed, this ripping of the skin and the submergence of this abomination, would make a resolute check just witnessing this thing occur. And if they didn't pass, we'll throw a negative modifier for a round or two till they gather their shit again, so to speak. So we'll do that first. So Xerix, you've passed. So
I knew he was a bad dude.
No, I failed.
Okay. So Oleg, you're fine. And then about Elfgarn.
Yeah, I'm just debating whether or not I'd have seen it, because I did say I was keeping out of sight.
Right.
Make
Go
a
ahead.
roll anyway, because at some point I'm going to have noticed it, aren't I?
Well, it's
No,
something that would have
make a
happened
roll.
over time. Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a roll.
Okay.
And by make, I mean fail a roll.
Right. So we'll just, towards any actions, we'll just go ahead and give you a negative modifier for at least this round, for you to kind of just gather together and just, come to terms with what happened. We're not going to make this any more Call of Cthulhu-esque than it needs to, but it seems reasonable. So with that, we're going to go to the top of the round, and do not go. She's got a balloon behind me. I think she's just going to pop in the microphone. So, okay, we'll wait until we're done. Okay.
I will fly out there and murder her.
Oh, I would. You would. The scream would go black. So. That
might be corruption, though, Scott. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. No, do not do which side on me. I need to atone for a lot of things.
He might
Anyway,
start firing arrows at you.
Do you have
Across the Atlantic.
Do you have a patio, Scott? Do you have a patio?
do I have
a patio.
do I have a what?
A patio.
Yeah, I've got a patio.
Oh, okay. Do you want a new one?
I don't
Is that an
listen
English?
to
Is
you.
that really an English reference then?
It's very much, yeah.
Okay.
They bury bodies under patios, right?
Okay. Got it. Okay. Back to bodies. So yes.
Does the
where were
sheep
we?
need to do it?
No. Bruna is a stone cold killer. No, she's seen this before, but she does, bray, in excitement of what has performed. But Maligno. So yes, so you witnessed, this ripping of the skin is just full of off. Yeah.
How badly did I fail? 4.
We'll give you a -1 modifier, to.
I might just run away. I might just run away and go, this is your fucking fault, barbarian.
Okay.
Or do I do the right thing and attack it? Oh, it's going to kill me. I'm going to attack it. I'm going to be brave and attack it. So I'm just going to charge in and just stab it wildly as best as I can.
Do it.
Like, I'm just closing my eyes are closed. I'm just going. Aah!
Okay, so go ahead and apply your -1 modifier to your roll.
Oh, bollocks. I got a success though.
Okay. And what about your damage?
Oh, I probably should have rolled the damage.
You do want to tempt fate.
Let me just ignore whatever result I get. All right.
Okay.
5 damage.
Okay. You feel free to describe the scene. You are going to pierce it, but not do any damage.
Oh, bollocks. Okay. So, yeah, well, I just flower wildly with this knife, just stabbing as much as I can, and just like, I guess I'm just, what is it, like a bone creature? Is it like a skeleton?
No, it's got flesh, but it's got like bone, bones, claws coming out of its fingers, and there's protrusions coming out of its head that almost is a mockery of a crown. But other than that, it's kind of a dark, blackish, just humanoid form on 2 legs and 2 arms, but its form is just almost shapeless. As far as the rest of the body is concerned.
Well, I guess I mean, if I'm not doing any damage to it, then I guess my blade just bounces off its hide.
Okay.
But I'm screaming. I'm like, ah! Like really, like but before I did that, I did like look up at Saria's and go, "This is your fucking fault."
Well, it is.
All right, that's me done.
Okay.
So that means I can't actually harm it.
Is that the most damage you do?
2 more damage is my most. Most damage I can do is 7.
Well, I mean, we won't know until somebody does more than 5 on
Helped
it.
with
So.
your other weapon.
If I'm
just
shit with
have less
other
chance of
women.
hitting.
Okay. Yeah. Elfgard. So you hear the ripping of the skin, the cries from your fellow, your friends, your associates around you, and as you turn, you see the completion of this, Blightborn come to pass as like just clothes. What was once Balin just kind of drops below to the ground at the feet of this thing. So, and you failed your roll, so you're taken aback. This is something that you've never witnessed or seen before. And as far as hearing of them, these are just fairy tales told to children, at night.
I'll sort of at the sort of corner of my eye, just glance at Xarox and say, "Do you know what the hell that is? Can you deal with that?"
I'm gonna be kill it. Yeah. A little bit desperate with it too.
So -1 to your roll for this round, but whatever if you decide to attack it. So, but yeah.
I'm going to use my hunter's instinct on the elf that's engaged with Revnia.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attempt to hit it with an arrow.
Fair enough.
Because the way I see it, Revnia's got 2 elves out there to deal with it by herself, whereas there's enough people in and around the camp that hopefully could deal with this thing. I mean, I've seen Maligno with his knives; he's pretty good. I'm confident. He killed somebody the other week. Quite a few people by the end of the night.
So let me get you that. And so it would be a -1 on top of, so it'd be a -2.
-2.
Yeah.
Okay. I hit, but that's not much damage.
Okay. And it's going to hit it. And the arrow is going to pierce, into the plain leathers that it's wearing, and then he gets knocked backwards, and it's a shock to you because that blow wasn't as true as you would hoped it to be, but it seems to have done something to him. But that's all you see at this point in time. So the other elf, Okay. Hearing the shouts, and this thing is growling, slobbering, howling, guttural sounds are coming from it. Elfgarn, you can see out of the corner of your eye, probably the only one who could, you can see a slight look of shock and recognition on his face as he drops his arrow to the ground and makes a kind of a whistling sound coming from his mouth. Just a, I can't do it, but as you can, well, as you can see approaching through the darkness, because the sun is almost crested behind, or almost behind the hills, you can kind of make out a shape of something huge galloping towards him. And as it comes clear into sight, a huge elk kind of comes crashing through the snow, stops next to him, at which he, mounts it and kind of rears it up. And at this point, that's where it will stop for his turn and move on to Revnia. Revnia, you see the an arrow kind of hit hard into the leather of the elf in front of you, but you can tell instantly that the arrow didn't go in too much. It stuck in his leather, but it didn't knock him backwards as if it was some sort of mortal blow. What would you like to do?
Presumably, I would have heard the screaming behind me.
Yes.
I will ignore it for the time being and deal with the threat in front of me.
Okay.
And swing towards the elf once more.
Okay. -1. Okay.
Hit for 6 damage.
Okay. And let's see here. There we go. Okay. So go ahead and do this. Okay. So yes, taking advantage. I mean, go ahead, but you're going to actually do some damage and pierce him with your weapon. Taking advantage of the knockback that occurs from the arrow. So go right ahead and tell us, how does Revnia strike against her foe?
Yeah, so this is the one that got knocked back.
Correct.
So just from where I'm standing, I swing the flail towards and hit them in the chest.
Okay. As you do, Revnia, give me a go ahead and give me a vigilant roll. No modifiers. 8. Not till I'm done. Thank you.
Success.
Okay. The elf falls backwards into the ground from that blow. And then it looks up to you with hatred and anger. And as it does, you can see the beginning of its form start to change. It's almost as if some sort of wave of heat is starting to pulsate around it, but it also seems like its body is beginning to grow and expand. So, and it's its turn. It begins to change, and it expands out, and as it does, it's taking on not a canine aspect, but the aspect of a bear, as its body expands out to the size of that other wolf, that odd, the larger wolf, as you see before you no longer this elf that you're fighting with, but this huge monstrosity of a bear creature standing before you, slobbering and growling, as you could still see aspects of the wound that you've caused against it, bleeding from would have been the area that it's turned into, but the arrow that was pierced inside its leather just kind of tumbles to the ground as it completes its process. And it's not, so the process of change is going to be its turn. So we'll move on to Oleg.
Entangle. And
Okay.
run.
Okay. So, and okay, it's been a while. Entangle, what are we?
Again, I just roll my resolute.
Right. So, and then at the beginning of the round, we've decided to have it, roll.
Yeah,
to break
resolute
free.
against strength.
Okay. So,
Then combines. No modifiers, right?
right.
Oh, I failed.
Oof. And oh yeah, I mean you passed your resolute turn, so there was no negative modifiers. Oh wow! So for the first and roll for your, I mean, do you only take it when it succeeds? Is that right, or do you still take it?
I think you take it anyway.
You take it anyways. Yeah. So go ahead and roll.
Do.
Yeah. Okay. This, I mean, I would imagine what this thing has shaken you to your core, Oleg.
Probably.
Okay. I mean, just. I mean, I need to take a moment because this is the first time this has failed. You have fought the likes of Mal Rag. God damn, I can't forget his name. Mal Rogan. I want to say Joe Rogan, but Mal Rogan. You have fought.
Joe Rogan on, we could take him.
That's because he'd be stoned.
Yeah, I mean, if he's locked inside of his tank, I think that's about as far as we can get. So, but Mal Rogan, and robbers, and just everything to this point, and yet this monstrosity is the one thing that seems to have shaken you, unfortunately. Xerix, it is.
I want to do another.
Oh, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
I want to move behind here and scream, Maligno, run!
Danny, not Danny. Philip, take one experience point for that. That's awesome. I
didn't manage to do anything to him. He's too powerful.
Perfect. So Xerix, yes. So you hear and witness everything that's going on around you, and it's a blur. I mean, you're in the apex to your right of you is a dance of elves and Revnia and arrows being shot by Elfborn. To the left of you is this this creature that has just born itself from the body of the barbarian. So after you shot it with two arrows.
I think let me think. I think Sarux will feel some sort of vindication is the word, not like he knew this was gonna happen, because he didn't know this was gonna happen, but he
validation.
feel like this, yeah, exactly, like he made the right choice. Doing that, I'm gonna shoot at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you pass or fail your resolute?
I pass.
Okay. Fair enough.
Any modifiers or
against it? I don't think so. Let me double check. No modifiers, just straight roll.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, now we're hitting.
Okay.
There we go.
Nice.
That might have done something to him.
Oh, that's right. You're doing the two, right?
Yeah, I have no move, so I can shoot 2 arrows.
Fair enough.
I think I will also say kill it, and the elf will leave us alone. I think I will say something like that.
Okay. All right. So, no, that's fine. So Danny, both your arrows hit. One is going to go deeper than the next, though. So if you want to describe how you land both arrows, one's going to cause more damage than another, and this thing is going to notice pain and be angry.
Okay, I think I shoot one, kind of like hit him close to what I think is his heart, or like someplace, close to his heart. And then I think he's gonna shoot at the same place, seeing an opening in this, I guess, armor or whatever hide. Seeing an opening, I'm gonna shoot the same arrow in almost the same place. And the second one kind of like go through it deeper. Not through the arrow, but like close enough to.
Oh, you don't split the arrow.
No, I didn't do that.
He's not
yet.
Robin Hood.
No, not yet.
Good, good.
But yet.
Okay. So it's turn. Okay. And unfortunately, Maligno, you are the closest to it.
Yep.
You can see hunger and death in its eyes as it comes at you. And it is going to...
So I have to roll to resist it, isn't it?
Right, so it's going to have 2 attacks.
Okay.
And it's going to be at a -3 to your... so you're going to make a defense roll, and it'll be at a -3.
For fuck's sake. Enemy missed.
Okay. Okay, so...
Oh, that's
2
the
attacks,
first
though.
one.
Yep.
So yeah, I just
right.
I just literally just I'm Nemo, I'm the one, I'm literally just going.
Fair
I parry
enough,
it.
yes.
I parry one of the claws with the dagger with the stiletto, and then throw it back, and then as the other one comes in, I Neo it, and yeah.
I've actually just got visions of Oleg running away and saying, "Run, Maligno, run!" And Maligno's like, "What?" and ducks down and looks around the corners.
Yeah. We do that one.
Just all luck, right? It's just all luck. He's Inspector Clouseauing it, kind of,
Or Inspector Gadget.
Or yes, he sees a shiny coin and it's over. Yes, fantastic. All right, so yeah, but with every claw if a claw did miss you, you will see an enormous amount of dirt or damage to whatever it hits, because this thing has abnormal strength. So fair warning. So we'll go ahead and move on to Lestra. Okay. So Lestra is going to rush forward to Balin, or to the Blightborn that was Balin.
Excuse me, Games Master. Do you have any other song? Because this song has been going on for how long have we been straight? 2 hours and 48 minutes.
Yeah. No, I'll throw something else on.
I've got it muted, so I didn't.
Where's the Morkborg music?
Yeah.
Let me turn that down. Okay. So, all right. So Lestra's going to rush forward, and he's going to draw out his. Let's see here. Actually, he's going to grab his spear out of the snow and dirt, lift it up, and lunge forward at this creature. Go ahead and someone just give me a 20-sided roll. We'll keep this all on player-sided.
What you want?
20-sided. Anybody? We'll just
Someone
keep this all
else,
on the
because I rolled a
player
20 last time.
Any modifiers, Scott?
side. No.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Get a
Yeah.
6.
So he's going to stagger a bit as he tries to press, his spear, stabbing upwards into this monstrosity, and it's, while it's, trying to claw at, at Maligno, it kind of turns its head and sees Lestra, and it just kind of bats the spear out of the way as if it was just a toothpick, not knocking it out of his hand, but just, swats it away as if it means nothing. Let's see here. Argasto's going to drop his sword, and he's going to run inside the tent, shouting, it's elves. Yes, this thing no, and he runs inside and just into the tent and just is going to hide within there with Bruna.
Hide behind Bruna.
Right. As I'm going to say, the nearest guard will rush forward next to and the tree too. Let me throw that on the map real quick. There we go. All right.
Oh, can we move the trees?
Okay. Well, those are the trees that Ola created that was going to be used as a cover, but things happen on this side. So go ahead and give me a roll for the caravan guard, no modifier.
Just pick someone.
Philip.
Roll 10, 20, right?
Roll d20.
9.
Okay. Yeah. So he's going to bring out his sword and he's going to land a blow against it, but it's almost as if it was hitting stone. It doesn't even cut into its flesh, and he stares. Just utter fear comes onto his face as he realizes this was probably a horrible idea. Okay, someone give me J-Wall. Roll me a 20. We're gonna see how Bartolome reacts. All right.
Maybe.
I don't want anything because I'm on a stream right now. Thank you though.
Maybe we should play really early when they're not up.
Or a weekday, or or just
Well,
I'll
that's
tell you
gonna
when they're
make-
at Grandpa's house.
That's not going to make any difference, is it? They're not
No.
at school.
All right. Okay, so give me a second. I need to pull up the Sunstone information. He is going to pull together his fate and be resolute in this, and he is going to try to bring forth. Let's see. This is consent. Okay. J-Ball, why don't you go ahead and give me a roll, and this is going to be with a modifier of -1.
Just so you know, we now technically flank him because we outnumber him.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get, well, I'm going to +2 to the roll and plus 1d4 damage.
Okay. So you see Bartolome bring forth the Sunstone, and you kind of see him whisper to himself as he presents the stone out. And J-Wall, you recognize the words spoken as he's trying to bring forth the strike with fire, to bring forth the glory of of all that is holy down onto this monstrosity. But his faith is not with him, as the Sunstone glows slightly, but nothing happens as he staggers backwards, just completely just beside himself. And if you could see him, you would see daggers, looking directly at you, as it's obvious you're to blame for this. You are the one that has desecrated the Sunstone, but you don't, so you're completely unaware of it. All right.
I'll tell him later.
So,
I mean, if I could see him, I'd just take it off of him and say, "You failed. You pretty off.
Right.
Sorry."
So the rest are going to just kind of just stand there in fear. They're not prepared for something like this. I mean, elves are tangible. This thing is not. So they're just going to be standing there shaking their boots. Bruna is going to roll a perfect score on her persuasion roll as she begins to calm down Argosto inside, and just whisper sweet nothings to him, which never really happens because we're dealing with Maligno. So Maligno,
So I'm gonna try and I'm just gonna wildly stab at this thing again, hoping this time my knife strikes true and properly penetrates it and gives it a darn good thrashing.
Okay.
So if I just roll stiletto, that should do it, shouldn't it? How do I? Oh, I guess I'll do it here. So I get if I get a +2, that's a good thing, isn't it? Am I still on any minuses?
No, you're going to regain your composure. We're just going to do it since this is kind of like out of the blue. We're just going to do it for one round. Okay.
That's not good for you.
How much experience can I? How much experience does it cost to do a reroll?
1.
It is 1.
You can also re-roll for corruption.
Yes.
I'm not doing corruption.
No, you will.
All right, I'm going to spend 1 experience then, and is that right? Hang on.
Yes.
For Wayne, I've got 3 unspent now. And I'm just going to re-roll it.
Okay, go ahead. You'll want to do that.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, well, at least it's not a critical. Because he would have gotten a free attack against you.
All right.
So, but still, you've missed. So if you don't want to describe your miss, we will move on to Elfgarn.
What? I mean, I'm still distracted by Ook going, you got to run away. What? What do you want me to do? What?
Elfgarn.
Yes, or my hunter's instinct still active on this elf, even though he's now a bear?
I'll say yes because his form has changed, but not his essence.
It's still my target then.
Yep.
Okay, I'll take a shot at that bear elf thing. Any modifiers, or what modifiers?
Now that he's an elf, let me double check. It is going to be still a -1.
-1. Oh, for God's sake, 2 points of damage again. I'm sure that did absolutely... I tickled the bear with an arrow.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could spend XP to do max damage.
You could, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact,
Now
yeah.
I know.
No,
Now I know.
I think I will. I'll spend 1 XP to do 10 points of damage.
All right.
It's a no-brainer in this situation.
Taylor, stop playing with that balloon, please, sweetheart. Can you do
So
it
you
in
can
your room?
spend
'Cause
XP to guarantee a hit, or to do a max damage if you already hit.
yes.
Okay, well, in which case I'll do the max damage.
So 10? It's 10?
10 points of damage, yes.
Okay, great. All right, so go ahead. This will be a critical hit scenario. So I mean,
Okay,
it's not down though.
Seeing this elf get knocked to the floor and then, erupting as this great bear doesn't really surprise me as much as it probably would have done 5 minutes earlier, having seen what we've just seen happen. Elfgarn takes his aim, draws a bead, makes sure to avoid, Ravnia's there dancing around, shield up, so make sure I time my arrow in concert with Ravnia's movement, and as this bear rears up to claw at Ravnia, I get it right underneath the armpit as it rears up, so this arrow just disappears. You can just see the fletching sticking out of its the fur of the armpit of this bear.
Fantastic. All right, so okay, so this elf right here has mounted this large elk, and you hear a word, and then the elk is going to take off towards the camp, and you see it charging towards you, Elfgarn and Xerix.
That's not an elk. That's an elf.
I don't have an elk.
I think you got
He's
a bit
on the elk.
confused. I think you've got a little bit confused there.
God forbid we ever play a game that's just strictly theater of the mind, which I'm going to suggest sometime in the near future.
I love theatre of the mind. Trust me.
So the elf on the back a large elk, a giant elk takes
I
off.
could get you a picture of an
and-
elk.
The elf on a shelf on an elk.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way it's rushing towards the wagon, but he rears it last minute as he comes spinning around, and he is going to attack the abomination. Okay. So
I'm telling you guys, why you don't listen to me?
let's see here. James, go ahead and roll me a 20-sided. And this will be at a -1.
Really?
Yep. Okay. All right. So it brings forth its sword as it kind of rears in the elk, and the steam of its nose just kind of, as its head gets pulled back, just kind of fills the air above his head as you see a sword come slashing down onto this beast, and it just kind of brings up its forearm. It just kind of reflects off of it as if it was hardened armor, and he shouts, he says, the only way to bring this down is if we focus all of our attacks on it. Otherwise, there'll be more dead today than this one and its brother. Revnia, you've seen him rush by you out of the corner of your eye. You've heard his shouts, as you know, and if you dare look over your shoulder, you will see him mounted. He's above the line of the wagon, currently, in combat with the what looks to be the monstrosity itself. So, what would you like to do?
Once more, I will try to deal with this elf first, once transformed.
Okay. Go right
And
ahead.
Swing with flail.
-1.
Crit.
Okay.
10 damage.
Okay. Yes. So you're going to kill it, and it's going to revert back to elven form. So by all means, if you want to describe the killing blow.
Were they knocked down, or were they?
He was in bear form,
Yeah.
so he was up on all fours at this point in time. So
Okay. Yeah. Try and be careful to not get my face clawed off. I swing the flail right into the jaw of the bear, and it just upwards. Yeah.
okay.
Takes them straight out.
And the bear, similar to what happened with the wolf, as the bear falls to the ground, its form starts to shrink and resolve back into the shape of the elf that was before you, as it's now on the ground, unbreathing, as far as you can tell. So we'll move over him. Oleg, you are safe behind the kitchen wagon. So, oh, you're muted, Philip. Sorry.
I'll poke on this side and throw entangle.
Okay.
Are you like? Is that like the only spell you got?
Well, I have healing.
Oh,
And which
okay.
side? Well, which side doesn't work here? Oh.
Oh wow. my.
I'll spend one to
Okay.
reroll it.
We're getting some nice crits tonight.
Yeah.
Well, the opposite ends.
Well, at least it's not a total failure.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh. Are you past your threshold?
Does that
No.
put you
No,
out of
not
threshold?
yet. No,
No?
mine is 8.
His is fairly high. Yeah,
No.
it's 8. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Xerax.
Yeah. I'm
So
gonna
you-
shout. I'm gonna shout that the elves are not our enemy,
Okay.
and I'm I wanna shoot at this beast. Whatever.
Go right ahead.
Yep.
Now, Revnia, you're going to hear that too late, of course.
What's that? Attack critical miss. Did I hit somebody else?
Okay, so critical miss. Usually, the standard critical miss is they get a free attack against those who are attacking, but in a melee situation, that is a good question. Or I'm sorry, in a missile situation, that is a good question.
I guess I shoot a maligno in the back. They're gonna think I'm a traitor here. Now I'm definitely gonna need to run from this place.
J-Wall, this I don't know if you've without me having to go through it, if you've witnessed something such as this in the melee. Is it just we can just adjudicate that? Because I know the standard is, that, but he can't really take a free attack against him. So, Danny, how? Rather than this, what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and say that. So you have your bow, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It snaps.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and say that the bowstring snaps. And so I mean it's repairable, but you're just going to lose the use of this bow for this battle. In all the excitement, or maybe it's just your corruption is just ruining everything around you. Who knows? But all right, so this we're going to throw this into a roll situation. Now that there's other people around it, James. So let me go ahead and so the elf on the elk is going to be 1. James will be 2. Caravan guard will be 3. Lestra will be 4. Okay, Lestra. Okay.
Oh, okay. I was trying to keep its focus on me, but all right.
I mean, if you want it to attack you, it can. I'm not going to deny it. If you want to keep its focus on you, I'll have it.
I'd rather its focus on me because
fair enough.
I'm relatively good at dodging.
Hey, so we'll go ahead and say it draws its attention to Lestra, but you have gathered its attention back to you, so it's going to turn towards you and attack. So defense roll 2 attacks, and that was at a.
Well, last time it was -3, wasn't it? I think
it is -3. Yes, same situation.
Enemy missed.
Okay. Yep.
Enemy critically missed.
You are beyond lucky.
So James,
Maligno.
free attack.
So yeah, so I guess it like swipes at me, and I like duck. I'm going, hey, over here, big boy, and shit like that. And then it like, I guess it goes to like impale me with its giant claws, like swinging it forward, and I just slash at its arm.
Okay. And I'm gonna give you +3 to damage on this too.
To hit, you mean all damage?
The one sheet I'm looking at is to damage. Yeah, not to hit, just to damage.
What's the damage?
I'm looking at one sheet right now. That will provide you +3 to your damage if you hit. So you get a free attack.
What's this for?
This is he's critically missed you. So it's
okay.
So you.
So I get damage here. Do I still get the Do I still get the? It's flanked. Do I still get the +2 because of the flank to hit?
Yeah. No, it's a free attack essentially with some extra damage thrown in because it's fumbled.
Well, I hit.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's 5 damage, +3 is 8 damage, and also there's a D4 as well because we're flanking it.
Okay.
Which is 3, so that's 6,
11.
11 damage.
Okay. All right. So.
Yeah, I guess I grab its arm and just slice up it. I guess I slice up the artery or whatever, causing loads of damage.
Mm-hmm. So you, lucky as hell. So yeah, I mean, and you've. I'm gonna say that you've cut what would be considered an artery. As just this black ooze just starts washing out of it onto you as this monster is, obviously flailing in pain at this point. You've cut it, and it's staggered at this wound that you've caused against it. Okay. And that's going to move on to... Okay, so...
Why don't you delete all the 0 ones?
I will. So go ahead. They're gone. So Lestra, let's see here. Gus, go ahead and give me a roll for Lestra, just a 20-sided. And I think I probably made a mistake on the last roll, but go ahead. So...
That's a 2.
Okay, no, that's... Okay. All right, so that's what you want.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and roll 1d8 for damage. Okay. All right. So the Lestra is going to jab up with its spear and trying to, get close enough to what the open wound that Maligno has caused, but its body twists and contorts in almost an abnormal shape as his spear kind of cuts into his wound, but simply just leaves a scratch against it. No real damage, as he still can't seem to pierce in through his hide. Caravan Guard, one more time. Go ahead and give me another 20-sided roll.
Who?
Just Gus again. We'll just go ahead and roll through it because we're getting close to it. Okay. And let's see here. Yep. Okay, so give me a d6 damage. Okay. So same situation. It still can't. Even though he's still trying to pierce into it, the wound can't get thick enough through its tough hide to cause any sort of serious damage. So moving on to the top of the round, we're back to Maligno. Okay.
All right, well, I'm going to just keep up the momentum and hopefully, do it some serious damage. Hopefully. I'll probably roll another 20, but, we'll see what happens. So I get, what, +2 at this again? Was it +2? Yeah, +2 because we're...
Again.
Not right now.
Do you want to spend an XP or corruption?
I'm going to spend... Is it a permanent corruption?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, then I'm just going to spend
You
experience.
can remove permanent corruption. You just have to.
I'm just going to spend an experience and fucking
someone will
re-roll
have
this
ritual.
poxy thing. Watch me roll like 18.
Okay. So, go right ahead.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who spent XP now.
I mean, it's if you want to adjudicate your miss. Otherwise, we can, it's you're dodging and weaving. You got a good hit in, but you're covered in dark ooze and black blood. I mean, it's disgusting. It's obviously distracting. Elfgarn.
Is the elf bear dead?
As far as you can tell, yes, because it's reverted back to its form, lying motionless on the ground.
In which case, then I will turn my attention to this monstrosity, this abomination, this freak, and I will target it with my hunter's instincts, and then I will attempt to shoot it with an arrow.
Okay.
And what is the modifier on my attack?
That was -1.
-1. Okay. That's a critical miss, but I do get to reroll my attack, so I will do that now.
Yay, roll 20.
It's another critical miss because, as I said last week, Roll20 hates me.
It's I don't think it's just hating you.
No, 2 critical 20s in a row. That hates me.
Wait, you got 2 in a row? I only see
Yeah.
1.
It's not showing one.
Oh, but you rolled 2 though? Because I haven't seen it yet. It didn't come.
There we
there you
go.
go.
Okay. Okay.
There you go.
Tonight it is all for crits. All
That
for
was
misses.
quite delayed though, wasn't it? Because I'm there
It was.
effing and jeffing about it, and you guys are like, "What are you on about?"
Oh,
All right, so
I'm trying to decide now what
Here's-
to do.
well, how about you have your arrow, right? Danny's bowstring just snapped.
Yeah.
How about your snaps? But you're going to both see that both of your bows have been tampered with.
Okay, I like that. That's thematic. We'll go with that.
Okay. All right.
You
So-
now, boys, I'm gonna have to use my stabby thing.
Yeah. So I mean, and shock and awe. I mean, you've witnessed Zarek's bowstring snap, and almost immediately, as soon as you knock another arrow, snap yours, and shock and surprise as you both meet each other, and just what the hell's going on? This is not a coincidence. So at the end of the battle, if you survive, you will, as you get a closer look at it, you will find that your bowstrings have been tampered with. So, all right. So he go dry. Let's see. J-Wall, go ahead and give me a 20 at a -1.
Well,
Okay. And let's see here. What was it again? All right. So that's going to be a. It's going to be a hit. All right. So yeah, I think I messed up the one earlier, but that's fine. So go ahead and give me. Oh no, there's no damage for this one. This one's going to be straight damage. As he tries to pierce the hide of this thing again, you hear him curse in a foreign language as he seems to have the sound of disgust on his voice as he throws his sword to the ground and says, this thing is no good. And he starts to gallop off as he turns the head, rears the head of his thing. And he gallops away to a short distance, but he reins him in again and stops just as he gets just on the outer outskirts of the camp and kind of rears his elk around and leaps down to the ground. Okay. Revnia.
okay. So, am I aware of the abomination at this point?
You would see its head above the, part of his body above the wagon, so it would be clear. So, I mean, you wouldn't be able to get a clear sight of it through all the motion and everything been going through, but you could see it. You can see it, that there's something unnatural on the
So
opposite
do
end
I
of that
want to
wagon.
deal with that or the elf?
Now, question, I'm not once again, I don't want to step on your toes, but you did hear Danny shout, "The elves are our friends," but is there something in your character just elves must die? And I'm not trying to.
No, but
Okay.
I mean, we just killed one of them, and they were attacking us.
Okay.
And based on what I'd seen Zarek do, I'm not on good terms with him right now. So
Okay, got it. Okay.
I just saved everybody. I just saved everybody.
he just transformed him into an abomination. He saved us.
He could have transformed in the middle of the night and then we'll all be dead. You know what I'm saying?
I will. Okay, I'll go deal with the abomination.
Okay, fair enough. I wasn't trying to sway your decision at all. I just kind of wanted to get a better idea of where your character was coming from in its decision making.
Yeah, no, it was literally just based on I don't really trust Zarek right now.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
And I might not once I realise he's done this even more. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll come round here. I
Okay.
see this giant fuck off monstrosity.
Yep.
I suppose I didn't roll resolute before, did I? For this.
You didn't, so go ahead and give me a roll. Just it's
Was there a
still.
minus on this?
What's that? No, just straight resolute. I mean, and if you fail, we'll give you a -1 for a round. No, okay, so yeah, so you've retained your composure.
Yep. So yeah, I'll take a swing, of course.
Okay.
So flanking modifier was +2,
Yep.
and if it succeeds, an extra d4 damage.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that succeeds.
Nice hit, nice
We're
hit.
doing 14 damage.
Okay. So, Revnia, you are going to fell this monstrosity, so by all means.
Walk up one hit, Simi.
What
Come
have you
on,
been
guys,
doing
what
for
you
this long? A bear? A bone bear? Like... yeah, I charge right in. Probably, yeah, a bit startled by what I see. And just... Your reaction, just swing straight away. Not even realising what I'm doing. And... Straight in the head, I guess.
So, I'm going to continue to the end of the round, okay, before we complete combat. So, the Blightborn has collapsed. Those of you who are nearby who can see it, witness it. Revnia has fatally struck, this abomination to the ground. Oleg, it is now your turn. You witnessed this. You would not have seen the felling of the elf on the other side that Revnia was with, but you would have heard and witnessed the other elf take off on its elk. So you would know that he is somewhere over here. But what do you do? What would you like to do?
Oh. I won't risk. I don't want to risk it.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll just entangle him or not. That's the problem.
I wouldn't bother. Well, we're not there to tell you.
Yeah. No, I'll just leave him go.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, he has dismounted his elk. And he's kind of standing beside it. So,
Anyone fancy some venison?
Okay. Zarek. Or Zarex, you've...
I'm gonna jump out,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna look for Kenneth.
For who? Sorry?
Keller.
Keller, sorry.
Keller.
Yeah. I'm gonna put out my knife, and I'm gonna go and look for Keller.
He's on the opposite end of the camp, and he's knocked a bench in front of him, and he's hiding behind it currently.
Okay.
So-
I'm moving my weight there, and he can definitely see I'm angry.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, he's you. I mean, you're within range, so if you wanted to do or say anything once you get there, you can go ahead and complete that too.
I'm gonna go, you little fuck, and get really close to him. I don't wanna stab him or anything, but
Right.
I'm gonna grab him by the neck, and he's like, "Do you fuck with my bow?" And really, be all intimidated, angry.
And he's going to shout, "No, I didn't do anything. I didn't even touch your bow. I have done. What are you talking
Can I
about?"
smack him once and then see if his reaction change?
I'm going to stop him.
Okay. All right. So that you've smacked him. So we're still technically in combat. So that was your action. So up to the top of the round would be. Now, to be fair, whoops, I passed you. So let me just start all over again. Let me get rid of these other two here. Rid of that one. And him, and him, and him. Okay, and him. Okay. So before you run over, James, does Bruna involve herself in this brutal display, or does Bruna just still sit inside the tent? No.
Probably. She doesn't know
Okay.
anything, so yeah.
Right.
For
So
now,
Maligno.
she will.
Okay.
She's just
Maligno.
eating grass.
You're eating grass?
Moo.
Well, no, sheep do eat grass. You know, that's
Sheeps and Davakar say moo, by the way, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
The new
So
sheep.
Maligno, you're going to chase after Xerix is across the campsite after you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, how do you know it? You don't know it was him. It could have been you. You were the one that shot the fucking prisoner. You caused all this. I fucking saw you do it.
I'm gonna put my dagger, like in very menacing way. Like,
Oh, I'm so scared. I'll have a stiletto to his stomach, and go.
No. I'm not like on you, but I'm pointing at you, like
Pointing at you
like
as you're
leave me
approaching.
alone. Like leave me alone, kind of.
No, I'm not leaving
Menace.
you alone.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, no, you fucking shot him. You caused all of this.
Are you stupid? Don't you see that the corruption was in him? He could have popped up like this in the middle of the night and kill us all.
All I saw was you shoot him with your arrow, and then he changed when you shot him.
Oh, so now I have magic arrows that transforms people into monsters?
You also tried to murder them earlier, so you have blood on your hands.
I guess, Xerox is back and forth, like, trying to defend himself and his anger, and there is a lot of anger on him at this moment. He feels like he's being wronged. Somebody fuck with his bow. He's like, he feels anger, a lot of anger. Yeah,
It's perfectly fine. So we'll put a pin in that for a moment.
Yep.
Elfgarn.
It's gonna sit on the back of this wagon, go into my pouch, take out a spare bowstring, take off the snapped one, examine it to see where it snapped. Was it like in the middle of the string or one end or the other?
We'll say that the end of the string, probably of some sort of sinew, has been shaved kind of away at the bottom to make it thinner. That it was only a matter of just time of constant pulling that would continue to stretch it thin enough to the point where it would snap.
No, I've used the bow long enough to know that strings wear and tear. They can snap at any time.
Right.
But the fact that two bows snapped within seconds of each other in such a critical moment in a battle is slightly suspicious. But at the moment, my priority is restringing the bow. I'm not going to go on like some mad crusade trying to, interrogate everybody to find out who it is, because that's really not Elfgarn's way of doing things.
Fair enough. The other elf, as he turns to his left, and he sees, his fallen companion lying lifeless in the snow, he shouts something in Elvish, or in their language. Loud, sounds with anger and fury, and he mounts back on to his elk, and and starts turns and starts riding off into the snow as fast as the elk can take him. So Revnia, if this will probably end the actual combat roundage with this, if there's nothing that you want to do.
Go to charge at them.
At the elf on.
Yeah.
He's going to be too far away. I mean, this elk is still, even you're fleet-footed, but you're not. Because
charge is double movement.
All right, so let me find the movement of the elk. So, because
It's going to be stupid. All right.
Yep. No. It's fair enough, because I'm not going to stop him from doing it. I just want to make sure that we are going to fall within. Because unfortunately, they don't provide the actual elk stats in here because they didn't expect them to do anything. But all right.
Is there a horse? Look at a horse. That'd be the best thing.
Yep.
Did you know horses eat hay?
Yay.
Here we are. Okay. Where is it? Well, we have. Am I blind? I don't see movement.
I don't see it anywhere either.
Okay, so Swedish. What? So this fleet-footed thing, is it just physical training, or is it something that you think would be more mystical in its
Training.
training? Okay. Elk that has just essentially charged away at full speed. You might get close, I would say, before it gets out of range, but I this would kind of be like a one-time thing. You know, if you were going to try to do something, you won't be able to tackle it because this is a large elk. You know, large enough to carry, almost like a moose-sized elk, large enough to carry, a person, and it's running at full speed as it's charging away. But by all means, so what would you like to do in this split second that you've taken off? And we'll say that he hasn't gone to top speed yet because he's assuming nothing is going to be trailing him. But revenue.
I mean, I suppose it would be charging and doing an immediate attack as soon as I get in range.
Okay, so you're going to kind of just leap forward and take an attack. Okay.
And odds are it will miss, but
Okay.
any modifier?
Yeah, because this is going to fall into more of a. This is going to fall under a certain amount of difficulty. Okay, so severity. Yeah, I'm gonna make this challenging for you. So -3.
Okay.
Okay.
It is.
All right. And let's see here. With your flail?
Yeah.
Okay, so. And let's see here. Does he have any sort of armor? I think he did. Or was it? Yeah. Okay. That's going to. And let me make well, this is where it gets odd. Make a roll for me, Revnia 2. Okay, so he's got, okay. Where is it? Okay, yeah. Give me a strength check. I mean, this is going to be for him. So give me a roll and this will be at a +5.
Just D20 +5, yeah?
D20 +5, yeah.
16.
Okay. All right. You're going to knock him off the elk. All right. So you leap into the air with your flail, and you feel the pressure of it collide with his back as you can see as the elk continues down the snowy path as his form kind of collapses into the ground and kind of picks himself up and turns towards you, far away from anyone else to get to in time. What was your quick? It was 13.
My quick.
I'm sorry, not your quick. God, I have too many goddamn games. Yes, you're quick. It's 13, right?
5. I use cunning for initiative.
Oh, okay. So you're cunning.
That's why it's 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he picks himself up, and he draws forth the weapon, in pain and the damage that you've caused him, but you're quicker as he tries to gather himself up. So what's your next action?
So I get dacked again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give that to you. You've knocked him down. He's picked himself. I mean, if he was quicker than you, I'd say he would have recovered and taken a strike. But this essentially is the beginning of combat at this point in time.
Yeah, no, I once again.
Okay.
Flail.
Okay. So
Is this not murder, Jay? Is this not as bad as what Danny was doing?
As far as I would say no, on the basis of they did.
Who? Only one of them attacked.
Then he presumably swore at us in his language.
Okay. All right.
I did kill his friend, but that's besides the point. He did attack us.
I mean, they could have a Russian afflection, so actually said, I will bring sandwiches back in an hour, and then he took off.
In memory of my friend.
But you heard Rostakala. So all right. Anyways, it's a -2.
-2.
Yeah. Okay. And
It hit 6 damage.
Yep. All right. So that's with his armor. Bring him down a little bit. Is it 6? You said?
Yep, 6 damage.
Okay. So, yeah. So he's going to strike at you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he brings forth another, he's got another sword on him. J-Wall, before he strikes you, give me a vigilant check, and this will be at a -3.
Nope.
Okay. All right. So now he's going to strike you, or strike.
Hang on.
I should say.
I've got a question.
Yep,
He doesn't have a sword because he threw it on the ground, right?
He's got 2.
Oh,
He's got
okay.
2 on him. Nope. No, I'm well aware of that. I thought I said he pulls another sword out because of the one that was on the ground. So, nope. But you were right to question that. So here we go. Go ahead, and this is going to be at a.
Well, that's actually a picture of it as well. That's what it looks like. Hey, there you go. That's where you could have got the moose picture from.
This will be a -5.
Yep. Yeah, I know where I'm defending this.
Okay. All right.
Damage negated 6.
Okay, but
This is where my vigilant check would have come in handy. Well, actually, it wouldn't have made a difference. I just would have known.
okay, he what is? I need to paste this information better. Okay, so yeah, so he's going to kind of give you a glancing blow, and you're going to see that the damage it does against you is nothing, so your armor is going to absorb some of the damage. But you look up as he smiles, and if you glance down at the blow again, you can see why. The sword. Oh, J-Wall, your twin just showed up. I'm seeing 2 J-Walls on my side.
The magical blow of the blade split Revnia in 2. It's now an evil doppelganger.
No, because
He just doesn't like me.
No. You see the point of the sword is coated in a sticky substance. All right, so I need to grab. See, I wish they would just throw the effects in here. They're like, see, poisoner. All right.
Wait, you checking the poison damage, or
Yeah.
isn't it damage free for 3 turns?
3 suffer. The damage suffered per turn. The duration of the limit depends on its strength. 153. Okay. All right. Sorry. And It's kind of like James's poison. Here we go. And he is a poisoner. He is a okay. So he's just an adept. So yes. So that would be a weak poison, and 1d4 damage for 1d4 turns.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I run to the down
Yes.
elf? Yeah, to the other elf and try to see if I can heal him or whatever.
Unfortunately, you see the damage done by the flail has crushed its body to the point of no return. That you know, the Revnia has done away with it also. So did you apply the damage then, Jaywall?
How much? What were we doing with damage? Sorry.
Well, I'm sorry. That was the 1d4 damage for 1d4 turns, the weak poison. So
Okay,
starting next round.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So now we'll move on to the rest of you.
Did you roll the
What?
D4 though, J-Wall?
There you go.
Okay.
Why
So-
is it
Damage
two?
one turn.
Yep.
That's all right.
Okay. All right. So the rest of you've seen Revnia just take off at a sprint. As you can see off in the distance that she has connected with the elf on the elk. Sorry. And knocked it to the ground, at which you can see that they're now engaged in some sort of close combat. They're far enough away though that if you wanted to run forward, it wouldn't be until the next round you actually would be close enough to do anything, unless you have some sort of missile weapon.
Enough, Humsies. Pointy Humsies fighting normal Humsies.
Well, I'm all the way
And if-
down
and
here,
if
so I don't see. Probably don't see shit.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm screaming, so probably
Okay.
you can hear.
and if you want, we can just move on back to the battle. We can move the scene forward back to Jaywall and the elf, if none of you are going to, try to move. Because I mean, you were all over the place in the campsite, and this would have happened in a blink of an eye.
I'm moving closer towards them, but I can't do anything.
Right. Okay. So with that, let's just move back to the battle itself. So Revnia, you've discovered that its intent was probably not to kill you, but to poison you. And he smiles as blood's trickling down the corner of his face. So what do you do?
Do I take 1 damage now? I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to do much, but I realize that he has poison blade, and I mean, my intent was to kill him anyway. So-
1d4 damage or? Oh, okay, 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swing the flower once more.
Okay.
My tried and true tactic.
Okay.
That was -2.
-2, yes.
Missed
Okay.
because of -2.
All right. So let's see here. All right. And go ahead, and so it's going to be attacking you with a -5.
I literally can't defend it, so but I negated 9 damage.
Yeah. So he's tries to pierce your armor again and just can't. And
But I do get poisoned.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you? Why do you get put? Does the
The
armor
dam-
not?
because the damage is turn based, so the poison will eventually
Oh,
wear
okay.
off after 3 turns. So essentially, it's like injecting it another dose again. So
Even though it didn't actually hit me.
what's that?
Even though it didn't actually get flesh.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I have a question.
Oh no, did it? Well, see, here's the thing. It's still a hit, but I'm going to say at this point, because you've negated 9 points of damage, that this isn't going to pierce you. I mean, that's just it's too far away from the actual damage of the weapon itself, and I'm going to say it's going to pierce you this time. If it was lower or closer to it, like the previous turn, then yeah. So, okay. So, once again, you hear the sounds of combat down at the end of the snow. Ulik, you've moved closer, but are you? I mean, if you would have liked to have moved, you are now. If you were continuing onward, I'd say if you were running towards them,
Yeah,
you would be within range. So.
I probably use my stick and try to trip the elf.
So you're gonna leap into combat. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just put my stick so he
Okay.
trips on it.
So. Go ahead. Yeah, give me. This would be at a -2.
Accurate, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah. This will be fun. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Don't forget though, because you're now flanking him because there's 2 against him. That should be a +2.
Yeah, that's why I
Would have negated
jumped
it,
in. Yeah,
Oh.
that's why I jumped into a combat. It's
Okay.
more to get the advantage to.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Revnia, you see Oleg, but and just try to shove his stick between the ankles of this elf, and the elf is kind of dancing over it, like where did this thing come from, and but still, it still misses Oleg's attempt to trip it. So the rest of we'll just move on to Revnia then, because we might be close at hand. Revnia, so yes, what would you do?
With renewed vigor now that I see Oleg is helping.
Right.
Once again, I swing the flat with no penalty now
Okay.
because of the advantage,
Yep.
and it's still missed.
I can't do anymore.
He's just elf is dancing around too much.
Maybe you shouldn't have tacked it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not in any real danger, am I?
Oh, let's see.
So, Scott, just attacks Olaf, kill him, and then you lose. And
Olaf.
then there's not Olaf.
Oleg.
Oleg, kill Oleg, and then Jewel doesn't get the modifier. And then they can battle for the rest of eternity while we're having a nap.
Oh, that's a ritual, though. Yes.
And if I get bored and my bow's finally repaired, I'll just shoot the elf. And
I mean, mind you, you could pick up a bow from one of the other guardsmen. It's not like you two have the only bows around you. It's just not your bow. So, yeah. But if you're going to just sit there and just witness Revnia do her thing, I mean, I would imagine just all of you have kind of like gathered together now. The argument between Maligno may have calmed down a little bit between Xerix, but I mean, I may be wrong, but I'm just envisioning you all just kind of standing at the edge going, Studentite? All right, so God, there's not much that it can do. So go ahead. Another roll against you, J-Wall. It's going to
Defense, yep. -5.
Mm-hmm.
Negate 9.
Okay, same situation. It's trying to stab through your armor. It got one lucky hit in, but it's still trying its best to pierce you, as it knows that this is probably its only way it's going to be able to get away. Oleg.
I don't have penalty right now, right?
No.
Okay. No.
I'm gonna go there and help finish the elf off,
Okay,
because I'm getting
fair
bored
enough.
of this.
Fair enough. So
And I can run 15 yards. You said, or something.
yeah, so we're going to say you'll enter the battle during this particular round, which is fair enough. But J-Wall, I'm sorry, Revnia. So top of the round with you. You can see that Maligno is running towards you now.
Okay, once more. A swing of a flail. A critical hit, 9 damage.
Oh.
Boom. All right. So this is going to be the one to bring it down also.
Yeah, just So much dancing around.
Also, roll an extra d4 for damage as well.
I guess for flanking bonus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? I realised I was missing an extra +2 on the abomination hit,
Oh, okay.
but it didn't really matter.
Well, that didn't do anything really.
10 damage.
Okay. So I mean, you've devastated it. I mean, this elf whispers something as it falls to the ground and its life starts to leave its body. You have no idea what it said, but you can hear something in its language. It's just like, and a lot of it's nighttime now, so it's completely dark, and the clouds that have kind of been gathering for some time, since the storm that occurred the other night kind of was starting to gather again. You see them start to part as soon as his body leaves his or at least his soul leaves his body, and he just kind of lies there stiff and dead before before Revnia. As Maligno, you run up just in time to just see Revnia finish off the elf. So combat's not. I mean, unless we're going to continue with the argument between Maligno and Xerix.
Well, I'm all the way up there. He can abuse his fucking friend as much as he wants.
Yeah,
Okay.
if I notice that he's not the one,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave him alone.
Okay.
But I do gonna scare him a little first.
Okay. So I mean, go ahead and give me a vigilant. Just give me a straight up vigilant, and we'll see if.
There we go.
Okay. I mean, he's scared, he's frightened, but you hear, some sort of truth in his voice that no matter how much you try to rattle him, he still is giving you the same story that he hasn't done anything to your bow. He swears to you, swears on the life of his mother that he hasn't touched or done anything to your bow, and he would never do that, for out of the fear of displeasing you.
Yeah.
And you hear the truth of it's not that he's afraid of dying. So I mean, what in all shape or form he is speaking, telling you the truth of someone of the desperation.
Then I don't abuse him after I notice that he's
Anymore.
Yeah.
Till next time.
I'm a weird barbarian, I think.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll kind of wrap this up. We're going to move on to the completion of the caravan scene, and then end it with a little closure here, and that will conclude. So before we do that, anyone doing anything as far as now that we've concluded battle with any of those around you?
Well,
Okay.
I was going to take the. I don't really need it, but I will pick up the elf sword that he dropped near the abomination.
Okay.
Wait, first I have to check them all.
For what?
For corruption.
It's an elf. Are elves corrupted?
Well, they might be. We don't know anything about them.
Alright, have a look then.
Maybe.
Well,
They do reside in Corruption Central.
Well, once they're dead, their shadow's gone. Now,
items. I want to check the items if they're cursed or something like that.
okay, yeah. I mean, as far as the items are concerned, the one had the two swords on him, both of which upon inspection are coated with poison. And he also had a quiver of arrows and a bow, and you can tell that they are both regular items. They don't carry any sort of corruption or any sort of mystical qualities about them. Now, mind you, that you have to force this, right? This is not a constant. You kind of got to flip. Okay. Okay. So, and then the other one, just the one that Jaywell fell, that Revnia fell, that turned into a bear. When its body reverts back, lying beside it, the only thing that it had was a short sword. Likewise, not carrying any sort of corruption or mystical quality about it. But these are elven-made swords and will be identified as such. So these are not man-made in any way or form. They don't give you anything special that you know in game, but these are elven swords. Just so you know.
Does that mean they're more expensive?
That means, you know what, James, I'm going to go ahead and say with your background and what you have, that in certain circles, if you were going to sell them, yes. Some will take it without question, but like most things about the elves, they do carry a stigma about them. If they are brandished or shown in public, or worse yet, if you ever brandish them or show them in front of the elves.
Right. Okay. All right. So it's not like in like other games where like elven things are like considered like the best, some of the best items you can like acquire. All right.
Yep.
That's
they
fine.
might be, but they
Right.
have stigma with them.
Right. So, now as far as anything else,
I guess we bury the bodies. We'll probably set fire to we'll burn the corpse of the other thing.
Yeah, I think it's easiest to burn them all.
Okay.
Probably. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know. But yeah, all right.
Now, one thing you have noticed that now that the dust is settled, the Black Cloak Lestra is gone. You know, he's disappeared in the confusion in the battle. Pretty much as soon as the Blightborn was felled, maybe there was no reason for him to stick around, but he's disappeared into the snow himself.
Didn't leave anything behind.
Nothing. I mean, he really didn't have much possessions to begin with. Just what he had carried on him. He's him and his spear has left. And if you go check, his tent, likewise the caravan that he would be traveling in, nothing other than just survival effects. A torch, something to make fire with, some cooking utensils, but nothing of any sort of value outside of what you already may own at this time. So Argosto comes out of his tent with Bruna and kind of takes a precarious look around, and like James suggested, he does order that the Blightborn be burned, that the elves be buried deep, go as far as you can within the hardened earth.
I'm gonna go. You can do that. You weren't fucking helpful in this battle, so you do it. We did all the hard work.
And he rolls his eyes and he looks down at this obnoxious young man. He goes, thank God it's only 2 days left till we're done with you. And so
he didn't try to kill us, like some of our party members.
And he says it wasn't towards you, young Maligno, is to the guards to dig deep into this frozen earth and make sure that no one finds the body of these elves. We need to leave this, everything behind us. This never occurred, because I do not want the elves to be having anything to do with me.
I'm handing in the shovel. I say, then you make sure that it's not found.
He takes the shovel. He looks at it. Looks at you. Looks at the shovel. Looks at you, and just goes, "Not today." And he walks back into his tent, dropping the shovel on the ground.
I'm gonna go in there and kill him.
Really? I mean,
No.
I know.
No.
So hopefully not. Anyone else? And before we move on to the final scene here, as far as anything within the battleground that they want to look at or do.
I'll just as I'm repairing my bone, I see my companions return to the encampment. I'll just call out to Reverie and say, "Took you long enough. Did you get him?"
I mean, it looks like I was the only one that did anything.
Hey!
I'll stand there covered in black fucking blood.
Poke him with a stick. I tried to help.
I just sort of look at the bear elf and say, "Well, I managed to land one good shot."
So it takes 2
Yeah,
days.
I'll be
Okay.
like, sorry, Jack, sorry. I'm gonna be like,
Okay.
what do you mean? Me, and I'm covered in the black ichor of the abomination. What the fuck do you mean you're the only one that did anything?
I look you up and down and says, I mean, it looks like you made a mess.
You should see the state of the other guy. And I'll just sort of nod at Maligno and give him a wink as if to say, well done, kid. You know, I saw what you did. I don't hate Maligno.
Not yet.
Best friends for life.
Oh.
Alright,
So,
so
the storm that's kind of been plaguing you, for the day, like I said, was starting to creep back in. But with the passing of the elf at the hands of Revnia, the storm seems to leave. As the prior knowledge of that was told you by Lestra that the storm the other night wasn't natural, that maybe these elves were causing it, and thus the storm. It's a clear evening that night. The Argasto provides more food than normal amongst the caravan riders, a little bit better meat, a little bit better ale, and whatnot. No mutton.
okay. I was about to go look for the street.
And bright and early, he says that we are getting the hell out of here as quick as possible. You make your way through the white blanket of snow, over the course of 2 days. It's uneventful. It's harsh, but peaceful. And then you finally make it across the snowy plateau. As you hit the last bit of the pass, as you can see a fantastic view before you of the landscapes of Indaros, the grand capital of Ambria, towering over a farmland covered in swaying fields and pierced by glittering rivers. Here and there, you can see before you are patches of forest burning in yellow and red. The patches become more frequent and grow bigger and bigger the further the gaze wanders to the north. And somewhere far away, the trees gain mastery over the lowland, trees that together make out the dark and mythic forest of Davakar. It is probably only your knowledge of its existence that makes you imagine seeing the red flame of Thistlehold's beacon located at the forest edge. Carvasti, the plateau ruled by witches and barbarian warriors, cannot be seen as it lies deep within the woods. The same goes for the haunted ruins of old Symbaroum. And that is likely for the best, since the ruins are said to be monstrously beautiful, almost hypnotic in their overgrown splendor. Argasto interrupts your daydreams with a high-pitched order to mount up. As soon as the cookware is stowed away, you continue on your break. Your break is over, and the caravan can resume its journey towards Indaros. The wagons sway on bumpy roads with animals in front and exhausted travelers holding ropes tied to the wagons behind. The weary faces are gleaming with sweat in the chilly mountain air. Storm clouds fume from mouths and muzzles alike. But despite the fatigue and cold, the eyes of the travelers shine as brightly as the pinnacles of the Queen's Palace, because the promised land that you've struggled so hard to get to is there waiting before you. And we'll come to a close as we'll pick back up with the rest of the crew here. And fantastic. You guys have made it through the Titans and to the land of Indaros and Ambria.
It's not much, but we call it home.
So, everyone enjoy.
Get her out of the
That's the
picture.
ghost of one of the elves. There's one of the elves behind me. There's it's back. Let me finish up and I'll be with you, okay, sweetheart? I'm almost done. All right. Silly girl. So everyone enjoy 5 experience points. Okay. So the little bit extra than average is between 3 to 5, but I'm going to throw a couple extra at you because when we pick up again, things are going to be a little bit different. I just want to let everyone know that this is kind of done as a starting scenario, as kind of like a tutorial to the ways of how things work within the Symbaroum game and the world itself. But don't let this fool you.
It does.
Yep, what's it?
Sorry, it does seem awfully low the amount of experience you get.
True, but it's supposed to be that way.
Especially if
because-
especially if you're spending it to re-roll shit as well. Do you know what I mean? It feels like
That's an option.
I
Yeah,
know,
that's
I
an
know,
option.
I know. I'm just saying.
But it's based upon a lot of people's experiences with the game previously, that if I throw too much at you, things are going to be easier. I mean, granted, you've had very lucky rolls within this game. Some things probably went the way that they weren't intended by the writers, but there are other ways around that. But in the coming game, once you now have come to Ambria and may proceed into the Forest of Davakar, things will be twice as deadly. I mean, no one was really near the precipice of death as far as I can remember, right? I mean, there was a lot of long battles back and forth between I can't hit shit and they can't hit shit, and
It's just so I know, like, is it all combat, or is there other, like, is there actual like chances for like other skills to shine?
I can imagine like traps in the tombs and like
Now-
puzzles and stuff like that. I don't know.
It's
I think
it's not all combat. Now that you've come into the you'll be coming into the world of Ambrian society and the machinations that are going on, that just reading the backstories, there's a lot of things that are on the level of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So it's but it's as much as you want it to be. I mean, the next story arc is going to be, I think, more of the role-playing societal situation with combat involved into it. But as you go if you go out into the forests or out into dangerous areas, that's where it may kind of get more combat heavy, just because of the dangers that you're surrounding yourself with. But no, there's a little bit of a balance once you get through the introductory thing that will present itself more so to allow for role-playing scenarios and dice rolls that will affect that.
Are we doing that pre-written campaign thing, or are we not doing that one?
That's what I'm looking at. Yes. So the Copper Crown affair, there's one more story arc to that, because it's called the Copper Crown because this is something that this is what has caused the corruption of this one. So it may bring itself up. Would you stop messing with me, or you will go in timeout? Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. 5 minutes. Okay. All right. So sorry about that. You can cut that, James. But yes, but it's this particular one. It's going to kind of continue with that, but you're not going to be beholden to it. There'll be a couple of different paths for you to choose. It's just that will kind of play a prominent role depending on what you would like to do with it. But it's going to be in the background. Several of the things that you've done here that has occurred is going to be running itself in the background, whether you have anything to do with it or not. So just
Biff first said, in my campaign there's around 60% or more of non-combat and social interactions. He said, in regards to experience, I give a fixed reward of about 4 experience per session of 4 to 5 hours, extra rewards of 2 to 8 experience for completion of an adventure, and he says you advance surprisingly quickly with 4 experience per session.
Right. But my understanding is that it can create, if you proceed too quickly and you're using aspects of the pre-written campaign, you can suddenly turn into a steamroller if you're not too careful. So,
Okay.
So I have a question. I got 2 corruption points. Is this permanent or temporary, or what I do with those?
That's temporary. So that was temporary
I'm bored of this
corruption.
music now.
Okay.
But I'll discuss with you one-on-one, Danny, just the aspects of that, and kind of just talk. This is not like this is me and you wanting to talk about your character progression a little bit, because the aspects of your shadow, because they.
Am I too dark for barbarian?
No. I have no problem with your character, and it's fantastic. It's just just want to discuss with you just the aspects of that, just so I don't want you to next game and suddenly you're like, what is all this this shit you're laying on me? I want to kind of just temper out with you, and this I mean, no, dark is fine. I mean, the angry barbarian who is, just lashing out everywhere is perfect. It's just, there's nothing wrong with darkness, but there's just, things happen when you go dark within this game, which is
Okay.
If those rules didn't exist, I wouldn't encourage it, but it's there. So.
Right. Should we do shout outs?
Yep.
And wrap up. We'll start with Danny.
Wait, he did say that we're maybe gonna get more experience points. You say 5, and then you say something else. Don't?
Oh no! I said that I gave you a little bit extra just because this is the completing of the actual adventure.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay.
But yeah, 5.
Right, Stanley, give yourself a shout out.
Hey everybody, my name is Stanley. Really fun to play. It was very. I had to make hard choices, and it was fun because it was, challenging somehow. So, yeah, good game.
J-Will?
Hi, I'm J-Will. I've learned that Ravnia can do a lot of damage when she hits. Yeah, you can find me here sometimes. Twitter sometimes. I mean, well, you can always find me on Twitter, but find me in James' Discord, of course. I very occasionally stream myself, about once a year, twice if you're lucky. Yeah, that's it pretty much.
Thank you. Philip?
Yeah, I'm Philip, and yeah, probably Oleg will have to take some offensive spells. Because, yeah.
That is entirely unfair, Oleg. Those roots have saved these other for butts more than once. So
yeah.
It just
I'll have to look at the spells and find something fun.
Mm-hmm. And rituals. Rituals obviously are wonderful, but they need to be done.
Yeah, they need lots of time. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Gus.
Yeah, I'm Gus. Played Elfgarn tonight. Archery wasn't up to usual standard again. That's 2 sessions in a row. I think he needs to go back to school and do some serious practice. But it didn't cost us. We managed to deal with what we need to deal with, so which is good. Now we're getting back to civilization. It could be interesting to see what happens with Elfgarn, because we've only really seen him as an archer so far. So I'm looking forward to the more social aspect of the game. It'd be interesting. You can find me on James's Discord channel occasionally. At the moment, I'm on there quite a bit because I'm not at work. And you can find me on Twitter as well, at Second Bracky. I occasionally post some inane comments, but most of the time, I just post pictures of cats, which I don't because I hate cats. Sorry.
Wow, lying.
Yeah.
Awful. Right, Scott.
Okay. I'm Scott, and I am the game master who did his best to stumble through the Symbaroum introductory game. We've had a couple ups and downs, but I think I've learned an important aspect of how this game is, being, coming to the closure here, and some ways to improve it and keep it still true to form when we pick up the campaign again, and also some ideas, several ideas and surprises that will definitely make it more interesting for all the players involved. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. The other thing that I've also learned is it's hard to maintain focus when you're running too many games. And that's where a lot of my mistakes came from. It's just like, oh, that's right. This is this is a roll under. This is a roll over. It's just, it's hard sometimes to do that. So,
Yep.
any obvious glaring mistakes, if you see them, yell at Twitter at the top of your lungs, but know that I know that I've made them too at the end of the session. So, but with that, I can be found on Twitter at Hail Orchestorcus. Obviously here on James's channel, I'm the one who tends to create ridiculously make people either star or be subject of ridiculously embarrassing videos sometimes on YouTube. So, whose birthday's next? Anyone? Oh, there we go.
Yes,
There we go.
Scott's birthday's in January, so
No,
I've got plans.
that's-
I already know what
mine
I'm
is
doing.
next month, so yeah.
no. My internet stops working in January, so I will be gone for that entire month.
Right,
And
doesn't stop me
and
sending stuff physically to you.
back in February. So, but yeah, so that's and
Mm-hmm.
you'll just see me around on Discord and Twitter and
Except
talking
during
and making
January,
fun and have a good
where his internet stops working.
And,
Alright.
That's it. So I hope everyone had a good time, and I hope you're as excited as I am to pick this up again as soon as possible. And it probably won't be at the end of this month. I'll be out of town, but it may be a little bit before or maybe right after, depending on how we can work it out. So
All right, as for me, don't forget to check out my social media if you want to hang out in the Discord where you'll find all these lovely people. You can. We're generally looking for like new people for new games. We've got some games coming up, and we've got some spaces in pre-existing games that need a bit of a plug, not a plug, but a fill up, whatever, a refill, I guess, of some people. What else? Check out Twitter. That's where I post where we're going live, and I talk about shit and say stuff and try and talk about controversial things. Like GM doesn't have to. GM doesn't have to say no. But anyway, beside that, check out YouTube if you're not already. There is a bunch of VODs on there of the previous things, previous videos, and there's over 200 videos on there, I think now, and so there's plenty of content there. And also, just to plug it again, on the 19th of December we are hosting a convention, so think about joining that if you're into roleplay, and we're looking for GMs and obviously people just to be players. But other than that, I'd like to thank everyone for playing, and I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I'd like to thank Scott especially for running the game.
thank you. Hope I didn't bastardize it too much. So, but yes.
Yeah. But other than that, we're going to head off and we're going to raid Paradise RPG. So please join me in raiding one of my colleagues, I guess. Would that be the word? Maybe. But let's raid them. So we will speak to you later. Please join me.